be a really exciting time, and one of the most exciting things is decorating a nursery, picking a theme, and all the beautiful decorations that you're going to put in your baby's room. But we need to make sure that we are creating a SIDS safe environment for your baby. Now let's talk about the safest way for your baby to sleep. Now, off the bat, I want to share that the American Academy of Pediatrics recommends that your baby sleeps in the same room as the parents for the first 6 months. Now, give or take, you can make your own parental decision on this, but this is just what they recommend. I remember when my kids were babies and I was like, no, we're gonna use the crib. That was like a hot mess express, and we ended up using a co-sleeper right next to our crib, and we also used the pack and play for my second and third born kids. So whatever situation you have, let's make sure that it is going to be safe for your child. The first thing that we need to talk about is the ABCs of sleep. So that stands for alone, on their back, and in a crib. So number one, for the A, your kid needs to be sleeping alone. I know different cultures, different opinions, whatever, want to do bed sharing, and that's your decision. However, that is not something that I advocate for. I want your baby to be safe. I want them to be sleeping alone. They also need to be placed on their back. Now, ever since the Back to Sleep, Safe Sleep campaign, the amount of babies who are dying from SIDS has decreased significantly. So you're always going to get, well, actually, I don't know if every single hospital gives out a baby swaddle. Our hospital gave out these beautiful halo swaddles that say back is best on them. A lot of different products are reminding you to have your baby sleeping on their back. The next thing is the C, so in the crib. Now this can be in the crib, in the bassinet, it can be in anything that is going to be a firm, flat mattress with a fitted sheet only. There is nothing else going in the crib with your baby. When my oldest was in the co-sleeper, it was 3 sides and it backed right up to our bed so that he had his own sleeping space, and it was just him and his sleep sack and his swaddle. He was sleeping in there, and when I had to feed him overnight, I didn't have to like pull him up and over. I just got to bring him closer to me to feed him and then put him back in the co-sleeper. Same thing with the pack and play. They were on a firm, flat mattress in the pack and play for my older 2 kids with nothing but their swaddle and maybe a pacifier. We'll talk about that in a bit. Along with sleeping on a firm, flat mattress, I want to make sure that you are not using any sleep positioners. We're not using any of those, I think they're called Snuggle Me's or Doca Tots or any of those things. Those products are not going to help your baby sleep better. So just don't use them. They are unsafe, and it just makes for an unsafe situation for your sweet bundle of joy. The next thing you want to ensure is that your baby is sleeping in a safe temperature. That means that you want the room between 68 and 72 degrees. You obviously don't want your baby too cold, and you also don't want them too warm. It is actually scientifically proven, and this pains me to say because I hate being cold, it is scientifically proven that humans in general sleep better in cooler weather. So the colder, the better, even though I am like sitting pretty here at 76 degrees and loving it. Okay, now I said that we were going to talk about the pacifier, and I'm going to lump it together with the pacifier and breastfeeding. Both of these things have been shown to reduce the risk of SIDS. Now, of course, breastfeed if you can or want, but use formula if you have to. And the pacifier, I use the pacifier for all of my kids. However, my third did not like it, and he was a thumbsucker, which was kind of the cutest thing in the world. I had my oldest, who was a pacifier addict, and he would sleep with a pacifier in his mouth and a pacifier on his finger, and we called it his backup bank just in case he needed it throughout the night, and it was the cutest thing ever. My middle was also a pacifier baby, and that's like a story for another day. No, I'll tell you the story. We were shopping and she got mad and she took the pacifier out and she threw it, and it went under one of the shelves, and I was like, oh girlfriend, I am not getting that, and that was the end of the pacifier for her. Like, that was literally the end of the pacifier for her. If you use a pacifier, don't be afraid that it's going to be like this big ordeal to get rid of it, because sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. The next thing you want to do to make sure your baby is in a safe sleep environment, that's like a tongue twister, a safe sleep environment, you want to make sure that your baby is not exposed to secondhand smoke. Knowing that your baby's lungs are still pretty immature and still developing, you want to make sure that you are giving them the best opportunities possible to breathe in fresh air, and it's not impacting their airways or, you know, ability to breathe. Obviously, that's going to be a huge factor in safe sleep. Now, the next thing that you want to do is not necessarily related to the sleep environment, but you want to make sure that you are keeping up with your child's checkups. I know there are so many checkups in those first few months of life, but you have to make sure that you are keeping those checkups, because your pediatrician needs to keep tabs on your baby's growth chart, their growth and development, and their health in general. So make sure that you are going to those appointments. Do not skip them. Last but not least, with the sleep environment, now this isn't going to make for a safer sleep environment, but it is going to help replicate the womb, which is going to help make sleep better for your child and your family. So I always recommend using blackout curtains and white noise. I have links to my favorites in the description box down below, so check those out. I always recommend blackout easy window covers because they are fit exactly to the size of your window, and the Yoga Sleep Dome white noise machine. It is true white noise. All you have to do is turn it on and off at night. You can also use the Hatch if you wanted to invest a little bit more money and have the app to be able to control it from your phone. Now, if you want some more tips on how to help your baby get more, better, more consolidated sleep throughout the night, grab the free guide that is in the description box down below, and I will also pin it to the comment section. I hope that you enjoyed this video and learned a few things about keeping your baby safe while they are sleeping in those first several months of their lives. If you're in the thick of it and you are exhausted and looking for a light at the end of the tunnel, I promise you it is coming soon. And if you're kind of like desperate for help right now, then check out my website, slumberandbloom.com, and let's work together to get your family some more sleep and keep blooming. Mwah.